Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we tackle, well, complex ideas, try and make some sense of them together.
That's the plan.
Today, we're jumping into the world of Neville Goddard. Specifically, a lecture he gave back in '68 called The Last Days.
Right. And it's maybe not what people initially think when they hear that title.
Exactly. Forget, fire and brimstone for a second. What if the last days aren't about the world ending, but about something happening inside you?
Deeply personal.
That's really the core of what we want to unpack today. Our mission, if you will, is to understand Goddard's unique view on this loaded phrase, the last days.
And we're using the actual transcript of his lecture, which is great, straight from the source.
It is, and he kind of flips things right away, suggesting the ultimate good, the climax, isn't way off in the future. He says, it is finished, already done.
Which immediately sets a different tone for understanding these last days.
So what are they then, according to Goddard?
Well, for him, they're not about planetary destruction or anything like that. They're specific events, turning points, that happen within an individual's own life.
Okay.
He frames it as moving from an age of sin and death, his words, into a new age of eternal life.
So a transition.
Yes, a crucial one.
Yeah.
But the key thing is, it's internal. It's about a transformation of consciousness, not some global apocalypse.
Right. No asteroids, no giant floods. It's all happening inside your head, so to speak.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the focus.
To sort of get a handle on this, he leans heavily on the book of Ecclesiastes, doesn't he? It seems quite important to his thinking.
Oh, absolutely. He finds deep meaning there, particularly in those lines, what has been is what will be. There is nothing new under the sun.
The famous ones, what's his take?
Well, he sees it as pointing directly at how limited our human memory is. We encounter something like, say, electricity, and we think, wow, brand new invention.
Right. Modern marvel.
But Goddard looks at Scripture and suggests, no, the principles, the potential, it was always there. We just forgot or didn't perceive it.
So life is like a repeating cycle, a wheel, I think he calls it.
Exactly, a wheel. But we can't see the whole pattern because time and our, frankly, short memories obscure it.
That's a fascinating idea. We think we're progressing linearly, but maybe we're just looping, rediscovering things.
That seems to be his perspective.
Then he connects this to something else. Ecclesiastes talks about a second youth who follows the king, right?
Yes.
And Goddard links that to a passage in Hebrews, which mentions God speaking by a son in these last days.
Right. That connection is key.
So this obviously raises the big question. Who is this son in Goddard's very unique interpretation?
Precisely. And, this is where his view really diverges from, let's say, mainstream Christian thought.
How so?
He zooms in on a detail in the original Greek text of Hebrews. He points out that the word for son there doesn't have the definite article. It doesn't say the son.
Okay, so just a son. What's the significance of that for him?
For Goddard, it's huge. It's not just grammar. It cracks open the possibility that the son revealed in these last days isn't automatically the one single figure people usually assume. It implies, well, maybe a different kind of revelation.
And the answer he lands on is, well, it's probably not what most listeners would expect.
Probably not, no.
Okay.
He says the son who speaks, the one revealed in your last days, is David.
David, as in King David, shepherd boy David.
That David.
Ah.
Yes, the figure from the Hebrew Bible.
Okay, wow. How does he justify that leap?
He grounds it firmly in Hebrews chapter 1, verses 3 to 5.
Right.
That passage describes someone who reflects God's glory, bears the very stamp of God's nature, and is explicitly called God's son. Thou art my son, today I have begotten thee.
And Goddard says that's David?
He argues that the author of Hebrews is directly quoting Psalm 2, which refers to David, and applying it here. Now, he knows the common interpretation applies this to Jesus Christ.
Sure.
But Goddard's counter is that for the New Testament writers, Jesus Christ is Jehovah. He is God the Father.
Okay.
So if Jesus is God the Father, then the Son spoken of here, the one reflecting God's glory, must be someone else. For Goddard, that someone is David.
And this isn't just like academic interpretation for him, is that he talks about experiencing this directly.
Oh, absolutely. It's deeply personal. He describes a profound mystical experience standing before the risen Lord, who he identifies as God the Father.
And
then later seeing David appearing as this second youth, the express image of Goddard's own spiritual being.
the image of his spirit, not like a physical twin.
Exactly, not a physical look-alike. David represented the essential form, the archetype of his spiritual self, his eternal identity.
And the clincher.
The clincher was David then turning to Goddard and calling him Father. That moment cemented everything for him.
Okay, so if Jesus Christ isn't the Son in this specific context for Goddard, but is God the Father, where does that leave, well, us, the listener? How does this relate to me?
All right, so Goddard teaches that Jesus Christ is Jehovah, God the Father. The Spirit of Christ, the Spirit of Jehovah, they're one and the same.
Okay.
He feels that the common teaching focusing solely on Jesus as God's Son actually obscures a deeper mystery.
Which is?
Which is that, spiritually speaking, Jesus Christ himself calls David Father. And this leads to, frankly, a mind-bending conclusion for the individual, for you listening now.
Go on.
Goddard says that you are currently playing the part of David, man or woman, doesn't matter. You're embodying that archetypal role.
I am playing David.
Yes. And ultimately, your deepest, truest identity is God the Father of all.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. I'm David.
Yeah.
And I'm God the Father. That's a lot to take in. How does he make that make sense?
It ties into a Hebrew concept of time and history. Not linear, but like all generations, all experiences, fused together into one eternal now.
Okay. Like everything happening at once.
Sort of. In this view, the whole world, all of humanity, is essentially David playing out infinite roles across time. But the awareness that you are the Father only fully dawns when the individual drama, your personal journey, reaches its conclusion.
And that's when David acknowledges you.
That's the moment of revelation, yes. When the Son, David, calls you Father.
He goes back to Ecclesiastes again here, doesn't he? Something about God putting eternity in our minds.
He does. He interprets that passage, he has put eternity into man's mind, to mean that within you, within your consciousness, resides this eternal youth, who is David.
Always there.
Always there, ready and able to play any part required for God's creative work to unfold through you.
Any part, like?
Like the blind man, the rich man, the fool, even historically terrible figures like Hitler, Goddard suggests. All are roles played by this eternal aspect within.
And the one experiencing all these roles.
That's God the Father, which ultimately is you, your fundamental being.
So these last days, this whole process, it's not just about realizing David is the Son. It culminates in a major personal awakening, a realization.
Absolutely. The climax, the real endpoint of these last days is this sudden, startling awakening. It's the moment you realize you've been, in his words, entombed in your own skull.
Entombed?
Yeah, and that the entire world you perceive, everything you experience, is actually a dream projected from your own consciousness. You think you're awake now, but Goddard says you're still within the dream of life.
Until that moment of
being born from above. That's the term he uses, drawing from the Gospel of John.
And there's a sign associated with this birth, right? Something about a baby.
Yes, a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes. He presents this infant as a sign marking this spiritual rebirth.
Just a sign. How does it connect to David, the Son?
He makes a clear distinction. The baby is a sign you've awakened. David is the son who is given, he quotes Isaiah. Unto us a child is born, to us a son is given.
Ah, two different things. Child born, sign of awakening. Son given, David revealed.
Precisely. The child signifies your birth from above. David is the son, now revealed to you, the Father.
Goddard also mentions the Apostle Paul, talking about the marks of Jesus. What does he mean by that in this framework?
He sees those marks not as physical scars, but as four great foundational mystical experiences. The first one is this birth from above, the awakening.
Okay, the first of four.
Yes. And he connects this sequence to Paul's later writings, where Paul talks about his imminent departure. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith.
Right.
Goddard felt he too had experienced these four events, had finished that same spiritual race, and had kept faith with the fundamental story. The story told us in the beginning, as he puts it.
So just to really nail this down, these last days are definitively not the end of the physical world for Goddard.
Definitely not. He's quite clear. The world, he says, is an ongoing play. It continues.
A play?
Yeah. And we, humanity, are the actors. Essentially the same core actors, just playing different parts across the ages.
So last days refers purely to that personal sequence.
It's a series of profound internal events that actually mirror the life story of Jesus Christ, but experienced by the individual in the first person, present tense. It's your story unfolding towards that ultimate awakening.
Okay. Let's try and wrap this up then. Key takeaways. Goddard's last days are this intense personal journey of awakening, not Armageddon,
Right, a shift in consciousness.
The son revealed in this process is David, the eternal youth within, reflecting the glory of the Father.
Correct. A departure from the standard view of Jesus' sonship in this context.
And the biggest leap. Ultimately, you, the person listening, are God the Father, experiencing reality through the role of David, waiting for that final revelation when the Son calls you Father.
That's the core of it.
Yeah,
Pretty profound stuff.
it really is. And the implication then is, well, everything happening in your life right now?
Exactly. The good, the bad, the mundane, the dramatic, none of it is random, according to this view. It's all part of your personal last days journey.
You're not just watching the play.
You're the main character. And ultimately, you're the author, the director, the source from which the whole thing emanates.
That is definitely something to chew on. To think that your everyday life could be woven into this cosmic drama of awakening, and that your true identity is, well, divine.
It's a challenging perspective, for sure.
It certainly is. If any of this has piqued your interest, and how could it not, really, we definitely recommend looking deeper into Neville Goddard's lectures and books. There's a lot more there.
A unique voice, no doubt.
Indeed. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.